Saturday and Sunday. Right. Oh, that's radio. Turn this on, race car. Radio.
It's loading. I said loading. It doesn't load in. That's shock.
That's not fire. Go bigger today.
Place to have it changed, then they recycle it also, and that's
So the focus is, hey, we don't have to go win races. We just need top 10s, and then we'll find our way into the playoffs. So they think there's certainly still a path, and right now they've got a lot of speed as well to back it up.
A really interesting line. We saw some guys run the high line, but they're kind of keeping a constant radius. This time, Ricky went in the corner, went in high, and stayed high, but he's been entering kind of low and letting the car wash up the racetrack as others were entering higher. It's just interesting to watch drivers approach this track differently as they're learning it. Let's see what he does this time. You know, that time again down low, and then the car washes up the racetrack. That's just something that's very unusual. Normally that kind of line, it doesn't make lap time. You have to enter high if you're going to exit high. Looks like we might get a little pit road entry right here. Hand out the window. Let's see if he'll run the bottom. You know, he does get the pit road.
There's that washing up a little bit.
It's a difficult pit road to get on. A major change in banking from the apron to the racetrack. Good looking car right now. I feel like one of those Nature Valley cars.
And so already, hunger here at Nashville.
They kept two cars. And my car kept yours. Inside the other that's black. Like this. That's not as water in here. This is still. What do you expect?
And Sunday. Pero no lo puedo hacer. Pues por la vez es como una cualidad. No puedo poner cualidad. The second for the extra. One of $50. But the fucking up one number. $5. No, $5 for the extra. One of us would be 3 for the left. Miles are 350. Too short, you know. Double headed. It's pretty short. Or not far enough, huh? Not the double headed. Yeah, change the date time. Too busy with that.
Overall is a little bit lower than it's been over the last decade. It's some things that NASCAR continues to do. So as you run higher, that will keep the engine kind of wound up, longer radius. It's got, so Kurt thinks that's going to help his car's performance at least.
Yeah, well, the problem is that's strong for everybody.
I don't want to cover that.
But, you know, little loose in, little loose off, right? Help the middle. That's what Parker was talking about, right? Clearly, help the middle meant that he was too tight to the middle, made it a little bit looser on entry, but he was okay with that because he felt like he would make more lap time by being able to point the car.
So we talk about Nashville, and he talked about the track surface. One thing about concrete, so look right here, right? This is the front splitter. Look at the gap to the racetrack, and watch that as we roll these tapes. You're going to see the car actually move up and down. This one, why that looks bad, probably one of the better ones as we roll through. Another Joe Gibbs Toyota. Look at the 20. Well, you see just a little bit of movement here. This one really stands out to me, though. Watch the 21. This thing right here, that is moving a lot, and a lot on the right front. That looks like the roughest of the three to me. They're all going to have some movement, but controlling that movement is only going to help.
Yeah, as you're watching that 21 car, it just put P1 top of the board. So
you kill my theory.
Well, but this track's rough. This track's just rough. You're not going to fix that problem. It's going to bounce up and down. So Matty D sitting there with that car, bouncing up and down, went to the top of the board.
And fair to say, Parker, I assume he put on some new tires to do it.
I would think so, if you go that fast at this point in the practice. But I just want to talk about that bump down in 3 and 4. People ask, you know, what was different about this track 10 years ago when we ran Xfinity and Truck Series here? Obviously, Cup has never been here. Well, when he came back here and I went out for first practice, I can tell you after doing so much testing here and those races back then, that bump in 3 and 4 did not exist. So that is a new addition to this racetrack there. And I believe it's that tunnel underneath 3 and 4, Marty.
So, Parker, we've heard some of the Truck Series teams and some of the Xfinity Series teams talk about the left front wearing a little bit more. Denny Hamlin just came in. They're going to put stickers on this run. This is just 19 laps, and you can see, not bad, but a little extra wear on the inside of the left front. I don't think that's a major cause for concern, Steve, but certainly something as a crew chief that you would want to note because, again, as I mentioned, that is just after 19 laps. Clearly, they're going to have to run a lot further tomorrow.
Yeah, they ran about 65, 70 on fuel. Well, that tire doesn't look too bad. You mentioned a little wear, but that doesn't scare me so much. I actually think wear is always worth the practice, too, because you can run faster. When you have to run 60, you don't quite have the pace when you know you can come back in the garage and tell your guys to work on it after, just a few laps. Parker mentioned the tunnel. So you can just write this down. If there's a tunnel under the racetrack, there's going to be a bump, Jeff. Is that pretty fair? I mean, every racetrack you go to has some sort of content or bumps over the tunnel.
I agree. I think that's just going to be part of it. But if you want to get in the racetrack, you're going to probably have to have it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just that, we're joking about that, but the truth of the matter is, Steve, you've said for years, I can make it ride good or I can make it go fast, right? And so at what point Does the ride quality override speed, right? And, you know, we just saw Matty D's car bouncing up and down all over the racetrack, went to top of the board. He's now second. Larson is now taking over that top spot. But a rough racetrack, the driver's going to have to ignore some of that. You just got to focus on, does my car turn well? Does it have rear grip? And forget the ride quality.
You're seeing 5-lap average over there on the left side of the screen right now. So Larson, Chastain, Byron, Benedetto, and Stenhouse Jr. are the top 5 of that for the 5-lap average.
And Bubba Wallace right here. So, Jeff, this is an interesting team to evaluate. My opinion of the 23's year is that I feel they are running pretty decent for a first-year organization. I think that the barometer was just set too high in January. I think the people that expected Bubba in this 23 to come out and contend for wins and run on the top 5,
Definitely what we saw out of Nashville already this weekend.
65 from the Gulf Coast. Down there is where we have the prolific rainfalls last night and overnight, up to 4.5 to 4 3/4 inches of rain in the Pensacola Mobile.
Wendy's Summer Strawberry Chicken Salad is back because we make salads bursting with flavor. Unlike some places. People want salads.
We don't have salads.
Ooh, too hard to do fresh? At Wendy's, we say yes to fresh and yes to salads.
I'm really nervous. I don't know what I should wear. Just wear something not too crazy. Remember, it's a business dinner, not a costume party.
On the Spotty Network, this is what she heard.
Just wear something crazy. It feels so...
Well, let's see how good it goes. Larson went out there top of the board in race trim. I assume Byron should beat that, and qualifying lap is... Ding, 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 ding. Well, you have a winner. All right, one thing I know. tape is better.
Sub 30, 29.724 for William Byron.
All right, so how do they go faster? Because the cars will be impounded tomorrow. They're not really changing the setup. It's right there in the front. Everything that you do on the front to cool the brakes, to cool the radiator, all that air going in your car for all the race, that is important for the longevity of the race. Qualifying, you tape that thing off solid, you cool your engine down, you put some air pressure in the tires, you're allowed to make a wedge adjustment, track bar adjustments, you can tighten it up to offset basically the tape. Downforce is king. More downforce, faster you go.
And I also will tell you that as a driver who hasn't spent a lot of time qualifying in the last 2 years, I want that lap. I want that chance to practice that Q lap, because it is a completely different approach. They have 3 sets of tires in practice. Give me one of those sets of tires to make a Q run. We can always cool them down and make a run on them later. I think that's a smart move to try that, Martin.
Jeff, meanwhile, Denny Hamlin out there and Ryan Blaney as well on a new set of Goodyear tires also, but they didn't go to Q-Trim. So, Steve, why would you burn a set of tires? The driver's saying, I just want to get a feel for it on the new tires. Kyle Larson did the same thing and immediately went to top because he wanted to feel what the stickers were like on the top of the racetrack. So, is that something you're cool with as a crew chief, to burn a set of tires here in this session just to get that feel?
Oh, yeah. 3 sets for 50 minutes. You have more tires than time, so I have no problem. Normally, Rick, if you only had, say, 2 sets, you would run qualifying runs, switch it back to race trim, and use that set of tires up. I think with 3 sets, you can do race runs, another set of race runs, come in, cool the engine down, and just finish on a qualifying run. To Jeff's point, that means the last time the driver was in the car, it was a qualifying run. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning, have your cup of coffee, come out and go do it again. Parker, I would imagine that's going to help. Last time on the racetrack, make a qualifying run to come back and do it in the morning.
It is, and it's always great to leave that in your mind, have that mental mindset of I'm going to go do that exact same thing when I come here to qualify. But just to add on to using those stickers, I heard the aide of Tyler Reddick come in, and he was a little unsure of where the car was at with the changes they had made. So the team decided, let's put stickers on, let's re-baseline and figure out that we're not chasing where we've just abused that other set of tires too much. So I think it's another reason when you have this many sets to use those on a race run and not only for those Q runs.
A lot of agendas. We talked about this. It's okay to have different agendas.
You know who's really happy for practice?
Yeah, no kidding.
Chase Briscoe, a rookie. I think all these young drivers have paid a major price in regard to lap time, practice. Without practice, they're losing experience. We just talked about it. If you're going to win these races, look who you have to beat. You got to go through all that experience, all that talent, and they take you and they say, hey, just go drive it. You got it, right? And then, Steve, you and I laughed about it this week. Chase Briscoe's got to be saying, no, wait a minute. We're going to a new racetrack, so all you guys got to have practice. And y'all ain't give me any all year.
I love that point.
That makes no sense to me.
That's right. Why are we getting practice now? Oh, it's great. Which Chase is just, it's humbling. 9 wins to be a rookie in this series. It is an uphill battle. Look at that.
Looking great. The grandstand's starting to fill up. Again, the Xfinity Series race coming up a little later this afternoon.